The leaves are falling, the air is crisp, the geese are migrating, and the deer are in the rut. Time to get serious about the upcoming hunting season and the bounty it affords. But wait, over 700 trout streams in Pennsylvania and more than 100 lakes are still available for some of the best fishing action of the year. Although the trout are different now, they seek deeper waters and their diet has changed, the savvy angler can cash in on some of the biggest trout the water has to offer.
Well, during this time of year, you're going to be fishing more underwater than you are on top, on the surface. You want to stay with nymphs, pheasant tails, hare's ear, but especially streamers. And you want to fish them slow. The fish's metabolism has slowed a lot, so you want to make sure that that fly is right where they can reach it. They're not going to come 3 or 4 feet to grab a fly like they do in the spring and the summer.
Not all trout waters have the same regulations as they did earlier in the season.
If you're in the catch and release, the regulations are basically the same because you're releasing the fish that you're catching. If you go into what we call the open water, yes, there are some regulation changes. You can only keep 2 fish a day as opposed to the 5 fish. There are some streams that have what they call delayed harvests on them, and you can go there and fish as well and keep fish.
For ABC27 Outdoors, I'm Kermit Henning. The world of the Olympics and world competition has come to Pennsylvania. The newly opened Keystone Shooting Park in Dalmatia, Northumberland County, is home to a world-class training facility specifically designed as a training venue for world-class skeet and trap shooters.
So we're able to really take the athletes from someone who just is starting to shoot all the way up to an Olympic level. Our doctrine is to broaden the spectrum and bring in more world-known coaches, just to help the athletes understand that what we're telling them is not an anomaly or something that's not proper.
Keystone recently hosted a 2-day Olympic skeet clinic conducted by 2-time world and Olympic gold medalist Vincent Hancock. Watching Vincent shoot was humbling. His level of skill is testament to the training a prospective shooter will receive at Keystone.
We want to make sure that there's a lot of universal information being given out and that the athletes get a well-rounded education.
The differences between traditional skeet and Olympic skeet seem subtle until you call pull.
Olympic skeet, it's basically on the same field as an American skeet field shot, but the targets come out much quicker. The target is actually a lower profile than an American target. It's also a little bit wider. The Olympic skeet has a 0 to 3 second delay from the moment you call for it. The target does go further and it does go faster.
If you're a serious skeet shooter or merely like to watch world-class competition, take a visit to the Keystone Shooting Park. You just won't find a better facility anywhere. February is National Bird Feeding Month, and over 55 million Americans will spend over $3 billion on birdseed and another $800 million on bird feeders, bird baths, and bird houses. Feeding birds can be as simple as spreading some seed on the ground or as involved as erecting several different types of feeders with different types of seed to attract specific species of birds.
There are hopper feeders where you can put safflower, which is a white seed that the cardinals and the juncos like. There are cage feeders where you can put suet in. That's a very high protein and fat food for the birds during the winter. And we also have the tube feeders, which there are 2 types. One have the large holes that have black oil sunflower in them, and then there are the very small holes which have Niger in them. Now, Niger is also called thistle.
There are over 100 different species of birds in America that will visit feeders, depending on the time of year and your location. Getting this variety to come to your feeders takes some planning. Providing the proper types of food is just one factor in bringing birds to your backyard.
There are some other things that you can do to help attract the birds into your area. One is to provide them with cover. Have shrubs, have grasses, have trees where they can perch and hide from predators, and places where they can be nesting. It's also important to have a water supply for them. Whether you have a creek running through your property or you have a bird bath that you supply the water. The food, the water, and the habitat are the three important things for a bird to come to your area and feed.
Grown-ups and kids alike will enjoy many hours of watching the wild birds and their antics. Follow these tips and increase your viewing pleasure. If you have cabin fever, you're dying to get outside, or looking to get some exercise outside of a stuffy gym, well, cross-country skiing may well be the answer. You don't need a lot of snow, no groomed slopes, and not near the expensive equipment required of downhill skiing.
Cross-country skis are typically narrower than downhill or alpine skis, and they are oftentimes a lot longer. You also have poles. You have boots that have a little hook on them that just attach in the front part of the toe so that your foot can move up and down and you can use your calf muscles when you're cross-country skiing.
Cross-country skiing is one of the most intense of exercises, using every major muscle group and burning more calories than any other endurance sport.
You utilize your legs an awful lot. Your hips are used to stabilize you and propel you forward. You use your calf muscles and you use your arms to help stabilize and also help propel you. It's a push and glide type of motion.
Getting started is easy. A few tips and pointers from an experienced skier will have you off and gliding in no time.
It really doesn't take a lot of expert knowledge to do. When I started cross-country skiing, I just developed an interest. I went to a local store, talked to them, read some books, and kind of learned on my own.
Don't let this cold weather get you down. If you're looking to get outside, get some exercise, and beat the winter blahs, clip on the skis and give it a go. Despite its currently impaired state, the Susquehanna River is a great place to catch smallmouth bass. With its rocks, riffles, ledges, and grass patches, the river offers a perfect habitat for bronzebacks. You just can't beat the thrill of having a trophy bass explode out of the water and smack a lure. But finding the right topwater stuff can be a problem. So what does the creative angler do? You make your own.
Everybody ties trout flies, and there's very few guys that tie quote-unquote pure bass flies. And that's why I started tying the bigger stuff and working with deer hair. And there's nothing more exciting than have a big smallmouth come up and explode on a topwater bug.
Deer hair is one of the most versatile materials used for bass lures. It can be spun, stacked, flared, folded, blended to make a variety of lures, including poppers, frogs, mice, crayfish, all the favorite bass foods.
If you want something that'll float on top, deer hair is a good medium to use. It takes and it's not hollow like a straw, but it has air pockets in it. And it's a very, very versatile material, but it's very, very dirty material to work with.
Cork body poppers are also an excellent choice for raising big smallmouth to the surface.
They are very durable, and it's something, most of your poppers now that you find are foam. And it's not the old-fashioned, quote-unquote, old-fashioned cork poppers.
Next time you venture out in the river, give the fly rod a try. A few deer hair bugs and cork poppers will keep you in bass all day. You think you're a good shotgunner? Are you confident with your shotgun in the field and the marsh? How about on the trap range or the skeet range? Well, I thought I was too, until I met Vincent Hancock. Hancock is a world champion in international skeet and has won gold medals in the last two Olympics, setting numerous records all along the way.
2008 was my goal. That was my dream, was to be able to go to Beijing and win a gold medal. And I was able to win that gold medal. And that was a dream come true for me. That was everything that I had worked for 8 years, and it all culminated in that gold medal. I almost retired from the sport in 2011. I just wasn't enjoying myself and didn't have a path. I didn't have a dream to go after anymore. But through a lot of prayer and through a lot of thinking, it came to be that this was my passion again, and I was able to go to London and win another Olympic gold medal.
Watching Hancock shoot is a dream for anyone who has ever fired a shotgun. His confidence and his precision is evident in everything he does. It's no wonder he refers to international skeet as not just a game, but a lifestyle.
It's not just a game that we come out here and do. This is, I don't like to say it's a job because it's much too fun to be a job, But for me, this is what supports my family. This is what I love to do. And they always say, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And that's really what this is for me.
Hancock spends a lot of time traveling around the country, training potential athletes who want to be better.
For me, I get the most joy out of coming out here and talking with the kids. Because I know that building the youth programs throughout the United States and eventually the world, we're going to build a bigger sport and a better sport.
They're not the most glamorous fish, nor the tastiest, but carp are plentiful, they grow big, and they're providing great sport for a certain type of angler. Bow hunters who want to sharpen their skills for the upcoming deer seasons, or simply enjoy the challenge of a new archery sport, are finding that bow hunting for carp is the ticket. It does take some specialized equipment, but you can go as simple or as specialized as you want.
You can go from a very simplified setup to an old yard sail bow with a wraparound reel and a fiberglass arrow, up to like a regular hunting bow that's set up with either a reel or an AMS, what they call a bottle retriever.
Finding the carp is not nearly as difficult as you might imagine. Pay attention to the weather and water conditions, and you'll quickly learn where to look.
For an ideal weather condition to fish in is no wind. The wind will cause a ripple in the water, which makes it difficult to see. Whether it's at night or during the day, it's very difficult with that ripple. Most of the time when you start to find carp, you're going to find muddy water. Just the way they feed, they muddy up the water, so you're almost always going to be shooting in some kind of cloudy water.
Shooting into the water presents a different challenge than you will face on land.
One of the biggest adjustments you have to make to shooting in the water is the refraction caused by the water. When you're looking at a fish from that angle, the fish is going to be lower in the water than it actually looks. And when you shoot, the arrow deflects and will go up. So anytime you're shooting at a fish in the water, you need to aim underneath them.
In most waters where you find them, carp are not native and certainly unwelcome. Harvesting them is not only good sport, but it's good for the habitat as well. For ABC27 Outdoors, I'm Kermit Henning.